All right, everyone, it's Corp J, and welcome to the channel that gives you a different spin on trending topics. All right, I do have a very, very important video I want you guys to take a look at. It's an interview that both Stonewall and Sarkodie were in when they were in Paris to promote their concert. Now, the reason why I want to talk to you guys about this interview, it's because some of the stuff they said in the interview and how they responded to some of the questions asked was very, very shocking. And I would have expected much more from these two in the way they answered that question. Certainly, it didn't appear to me that these guys were prepared for this interview. But don't just take my word for it. I want you guys to take a look at it, and then I'm going to give you guys my analysis and my review of the interview like I normally do. But let's not waste any more time. Let's just go right into it. Let's go right into it.
Bringing the best of Ghanaian high-life hip-hop, rap and reggae to the French capital, Accra has come to Paris, or at least the city's hottest musical exports are paying us a visit. As Onto star and rapper Sarkodie and Afro dancehall sensation Stonewall join us in the studio. Thanks so much for being here, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Now, you're both performing at the Accra in Paris festival here in France. It's a concert. This is a rerun of the Paris in Accra event in November last year, where you both performed. So give us a bit of the inside scoop. What was that night like?
I wouldn't call this a concert. This is like a whole movement that I think is very necessary. So yes, in Ghana that was crazy.
It's a concert.
I loved it, and it's back home. It was more comfortable for myself and my brother.
It's a concert.
And now she's letting us invade your privacy for a second. So I know this one is going to be way turned. Yes.
So, boy, excited about the European version?
No, absolutely. This is how I think it's supposed to be. The ambassador should get the credit, for pioneering or spearheading such a movement. And I think it's a great move because the language barriers have actually made it impossible for people to see it conducive that our cultures and our music can actually transmit or transcend amongst one another, and these are the movements that would actually grow such cultural, interrelationships. So this is a great move that should be actually looked at and emulated. You know what I mean? So we're here to represent for that cause, and we're waiting for the whole of France to come out. We don't really want to see our Ghanaian people. We want to see the white faces, the blue faces.
It's true.
What? So that is insane to me. That is one of the dumbest things you could ever say on an international platform. Nobody should ever say they don't want to see their own people. Okay, that statement was to me a very offensive and very, very dumb statement. It's to say that I don't want to see Ghanaians there. I want to see only white people, white faces, blue faces, whatever else he calls them. Because these people did not make you who you are. White people, white faces, blue faces, blonde hair, whatever you want to call them, did not make Sarkodie or Stonewall who they are. These people didn't make them who they are. Ghanaians made you who you are. Okay? Africans made you who you are. So to go and do a concert in Paris and say, I don't want to see my people there, I want to see all these white people there, is to me to make yourself look ridiculous. Ridiculous. Right? Because I guarantee you, I don't care how many concerts you did in Paris during that time. None of those concert that you did in Paris, none of that would have been enough to make you who you are. None of them. These people are not paying money to come and see you and try to prop you up. Your own people. Okay? African people are the ones that made, Stonewall who he is today. And that is the dumbest thing you could ever say. Dumbest thing. I, for one, was really kind of taken back at that. Why would you say stuff like that? Why would you say that? Now I get what he was trying to say. I'm not in his head, but I think what he was trying to say is that we would like to have other people other than Ghanaians. We want our Ghanaian people there. We want our brothers and sisters there, but we also want to share our culture with people outside of Ghana. That's that would be more appropriate to say. People would understand what you're saying. No one would bat an eye for that. That's okay to say. But to say that the people that made you who you are today are not allowed to come to your concert, you don't want to see them there. I think he misspoke on that one. And I think he said something really silly at a time when he should be promoting his culture, should be promoting Ghanaians, should be promoting Ghana as a country, on international stage, because that's why they have you there. So that was and Sarkodie should have corrected that. Sarkodie should have been like, hold on a second, hold on, okay, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and he should have just made it, made it a fun, light. Say, we want our Ghanaian people there, but we also want people from France. We want all these French people there. We want them to come and enjoy our culture. That would be much more appropriate. But to sit there and just let him have that nonsense out there is to me ridiculous, right? Ridiculous, because it shows how when you have people from Africa or people even from this country, when they're in front of white people, they start to quiver. They start to mince words and say things that you shouldn't say because you're right in front of some white woman. No, bro. You need to stand on your truth. You need to stand on your culture. You need to say things that you're going to be proud of when you hear it. And what you should have said was, listen, we're here to promote our culture. We're glad to be here. Awesome. We love French people. We love our people. We want to share our culture with the entire world. We are happy to be here. Please make sure you come out. All our Ghanaian people come out. All our Nigerian people come out. All our African people come out. All white people come out. That would be much more appropriate. Not this stuff that you're saying, because it's ridiculous. But it gets better. It gets really better in terms of what I mean better. I'm only trying to make light of it. There were a couple of other questions that was asked during the interview that I want you guys to also watch their response on this.
I think you're singing in Twi there, right?
No, that's Ewe.
Ewe.
That's Ewe. That's my dialect. That's my roots.
Your mother tongue.
Yeah, that's my mother tongue.
And Sarkodie, you rap in Twi sometimes,
Yes.
right?
I do rap in Twi a lot. Yeah.
It's interesting as a choice because English might get you to a huge audience. Why is it important to have this linguistic mix?
I think artists is really about, especially if you're really about the art itself, you don't want to dilute what you're doing. It has to be authentic. It has to be how you feel. So I could say people from the UK, the States, that's your tongue. It comes way easier, so you can have the emotions, the spirit in there. And that's the same thing that we do, because what he's saying, if he changes it, it can make sense. It can do that sometimes. But I think organically, creativity thrives in, what you believe in and how you were brought up. So you don't want to dilute that. And I think as creative as we are able to still catch the ears of other people, even though they don't understand it. So we have a way to present it that suits the ear. There's a lot of people that I listen to back home in Ghana. I have no idea what they're talking about, but I'm like a big fan of them. So that's what we stand for. We want to be able to represent where we are from and push it out here. Yes.
So I agree with what he's saying to some extent. I do see what he's saying. It's because you certainly want to be authentic in that sense. Where if you're from Africa, and I've been critical of these guys in the past, and I've talked about why are they rapping? Why are they copying Western style? Because that's what I see with Ghana, in terms of the type of music that's coming out of that country. But I hear what he's saying in the sense that that's how they grew up. They grew up speaking Twi. They grew up in a certain way, and they want to be able to connect with their people. So I totally 100% agree with him in that sense that I see why he's doing it. But when he's talking about authenticity, I don't know how authentic you can actually be when you are actually rapping and you are singing dancehall kind of music. Okay, so dancehall and type of music is a reggae Jamaican creation. That is not authentic. To me, rapping is not authentic. to me. That is not a representation of Africa, because we all know where rap came from. We all know where dancehall and reggae comes from. So on that sense, I don't really buy it. I don't really buy it on that sense. But I do get where he's saying in terms of when he uses authenticity to describe, he's using his language to sing in his language. I do get that sense of authenticity of where he's coming from when he says, I want to be authentic in that way. But when he blankets the whole word authenticity, to try to be authentic, and uses it as though singing and rap is authentic, or having dancehall type of style music is authentic, that to me is not authentic. That is a borrowing of other culture, which there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't have all your music. And Sarkodie's music, entire music collection is mostly in rap and also in dancehall type of music. So that's a part that I really kind of get disconnected with that.
Well, it's a cultural mix, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, that music on its own is a language, so that has to be obeyed. That is the first code. So when you obey that, you're able to now express yourself, like you said, swiftly. And most often, you find out that some of the songs that live with us are the ones that we don't understand.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The ones that we don't understand, it's the lyrics.
I certainly agree with that.
Saying, so you always want to find out. Then you want to learn something new, because you just asked what the title of my song is, Junky. I could have just said what's up, but I wanted to put it down there so people can also understand that is where this is tree, and that's how we continue to sell our cultures as well, to the world.
That's
Definitely
right.
a discovery. Now,
That's right.
In the past, Ghanaian and maybe West African music generally was often classified as world music because the industry failed to recognize the nuances.
So here's the part that I think is something that I want you guys to pay attention in this whole interview is the lady is about to ask them their thought on the fact that the world classifies music coming from the continent as Afro Beats, right? And so she's about to get their take on what this and what their take is on the fact that the world classifies music coming from Africa as Afrobeat. So I want you guys to take a listen to their response, because in my opinion, I think they handle that very badly. They answer that whole thing very badly. But take a listen to their response to that.
And specificities of different genres and different scenes. Now, Billboard has launched a US Afrobeats chart, and the UK's done that too for African artists and the diaspora. Spotify has an Afro hub. What do you think of these initiatives? Are they good exposure, or is it, again, lumping everything together?
Yeah, man. I think it's good exposure, and at the same time it's lumping, you know what I mean? Because there are criteria by which those are defined. And sometimes when you move away from those criteria, music still lives on and people still feed on. You know what I mean? I think some of the criteria they use is when you trend on TikTok and when you do all them one day. But sometimes some of us have come from schools where, you just do the music and the music lives with people. It's not everybody does. And trending actually might be cool, but class is imperial. So I would also debate it. It's a beautiful thing. It keeps us pushing. It keeps us adding up to the Western standard. You know what I mean? But if you ask Stonewall, I'll tell you that it doesn't stop there. It didn't even begin there. But it adds on to exposing African arts, and there are more beyond the standards that they create. You know what I mean? Like the rules that put those songs on that chart. Aside that, there are actually gems hidden behind.
Yeah, you think it.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So I think that he danced around and didn't articulate himself properly in that question, because he's using words like gems and standard and all that. People don't understand what you're saying, bro. So I think what he could have said, I think what he was trying to say was, yes, I hear that the whole world is now has classified all the music coming from Africa as Afro Beats. However, every country in Africa has its own sound. Okay, Afro Beats is Nigeria. Amapiano is South African. Makossa is Cameroon. Ghana is High Life. That's what he should have said. That's what I think he was trying to say, is that all these other countries have their own sounds. have their own style of music, and it's not all Afro beats, right? That's what I think he was trying to say. That's what I think he should have articulated. But when you start using words like jams and standard, and people don't know what you're saying. Okay, you're talking to people in France. You're on an international platform talking about a simple question that they just asked you. Is that, what are your thoughts on the fact that the world is seeing you guys as Afrobeats? Are they lumping everyone together? Or, what are your thoughts on that? You should be like, yes, they're lumping everyone together. That not all music from Africa is Afrobeats. Okay, High Life isn't Afrobeats, right? So that's what I think he should have said. And I think he bombed on that. I'm not sure if these guys were ever ready for that question. I don't know if they've been asked that question, but they're going to get those questions asked, especially if they're on international platform, if they're having interviews on international media. They're going to get that question asked. And it is true that on Spotify, on any of the streaming platform, if you want to hear African music, it's Afrobeats, right? Now, of course, we from the continent, we know that the music are different. We know that the flavors and the styles are different. We know this, right? But if you're talking to a vast audience and you're talking to someone that is not clearly from your country, you need to be able to break that down much better by saying things like, yo, not all music is Afrobeat. Everything is different style, but we appreciate that Africa is getting recognized. African music are getting recognized. That's what he should have said, right? So not sure if they were ever ready for that question. Not sure if they've ever been asked that question in the past. But my advice to them, if they're watching this, is the next time you're asked that question, you want to break it down and you want to really be gracious in terms of, we do appreciate that Afrobeat is being recognized, but not all music from Africa is Afrobeats, and that's what I think they should have said. But let's take a listen to Sarkodie's response.
Prompt people to go and seek out new music?
I think anything successful is definitely going to have people want to come and join it, so I'm definitely up for it. As he said, I think we just have to make sure that we don't lose the core of what the music is for, so we don't lose the value of what Afrobeat stands for, because I think it was just a matter of time. I knew this time was going to come. I didn't know when, and I thank God that we were the generation that was able to push that boundary and open that door for the next generations to come. I think if it stayed in Africa, that would have been just an African thing, and now everybody want to join it. And whether you like it or not, Afrobeat is the new cool. That's the song that turns the clubs up. So yes, I'm open for people to join to make it way bigger. So yes, definitely.
Indeed, good news for all of us music fans as well. Guys, thank you so much for joining.
All right, so Sarkodie did not answer the question. He just dodged it. I don't know if he didn't have an answer for it, but he just dodged the question. He just talked about how Afrobeat is a new genre, is a new cool thing right now in the club, and he's happy and all of that. It's all well and good, but that's not the question she asked you. She asked you a simple question, right? What are your thoughts on the fact that the world is classified now, music coming from every part of the countries in Africa, as Afrobeats? What are your thoughts on this? And I think that was an opportunity for him, a missed opportunity that both of them had. But that was clearly an opportunity for him to really cleaned up what Stonewall was trying to say by saying things of the effect that, yes, the music coming from Ghana isn't Afrobeats, because Ghana's music is not Afrobeats. I know they're trying to copy Afrobeat style and they're trying to incorporate that, but Ghana's music is not Afrobeats. Right, it's high life. It's a lot of high life. Is a lot of dance hall, Jamaican reggae type of sound. That is not Afrobeats, right? That is not Afrobeats. One coming from South Africa is not Afrobeats. So I think that they should have literally just said, yes, we're happy. I'm happy that he gave recognition to Afrobeats, because Afrobeats is a representation. We're all proud of it. Whether you're from Ghana, whether you're from Cameroon, whether you're from Kenya, whether you're from South Africa, whatever part of Africa you're in, we're all very proud that Africa is getting recognized, no matter who created, irregardless of who created Afrobeats. We're all very proud. However, if you're from the continent, you should know that Afro Beats is not a representation of the entire countries in Africa. Every country has its own sound. That's what he should have cleared out, is that, yes, while we're all very happy, every country has their own style and sound. And that's what he should have cleaned up. So again, that was just a missed opportunity. But nonetheless, I am very happy with what these guys are doing with their own song and with their own music. I'm happy to see that they are also getting some coverage. I'm happy to see Ghana getting coverage and also getting some international recognition with their own flavor and with their own style. I just think that they have to be very, very careful when they are speaking to people like that, because they'll take sound bites of what you said, especially when Stonewall said that stuff about, we don't really want our people in there. We want just white people. They'll use that as a headline, and they'll travel with that. So those are the things that you really, really want to be very, very careful. So that way they don't misrepresent you, they don't misrepresent your image and what you stand for, and they don't misclassify Africa. Because right now, Afro Beats is giving Africa a voice and is giving international market, to making international market pay attention. And the last thing you want is to give them an ammunition for them to use to really begin to misclassify or at least demonize that whole thing. Not to say that they would, but you just never know. That's not just something you want to say on an international platform. All right, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for staying tuned. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Also, be sure to hit the notification bell whenever you subscribe. And again, I will see you all next time.
För de här yardis, de vill ju bara dra ner oss. Men du är fett och vanlig, på det jag lägger all min tid. Jag vill ha dig. Du får mig känna safety. Jag kan nog leda dig.